Call this meeting over. Glad members of the public showed up. Once again, I'll just ask you to be courteous of other people's time, be respectful, try not to overtalk anyone when the board's talking, and I will get to Q&A at the end of the meeting. So at this time, the clerk will call roll.
Mayor Shears,
Present.
Alderman Dow,
Present.
Alderman Dill,
Present.
Alderman Hotchkiss,
Present.
Alderman Majors, present. Attorney Lawler, absent.
First item on the agenda is the July 2022 financial report. There's no questions, concerns. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the July 2022.
Have a motion on the floor for the July 2022 financial report.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Next item on the agenda is July 2022 collector's report. Any questions, concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the July 22 collector's report.
Have a motion on the floor for the July 2022 collector's report. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the minutes for the closed personnel meeting dated July 16th, 2022. Questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion we accept the personnel meeting minutes of June 16th, 2022.
Have a motion on the floor for personnel meeting minutes for June 16th, 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Next item on the agenda is regular board meeting minutes dated July 11th, 2022. Questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the regular session, or regular board session meetings for July 11, 2022.
Have a motion on the floor to accept the regular board meeting minutes dated July 11, 2022.
I second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Next item on the agenda is special session minutes dated July 25th, 2022. Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I have one revision, and I'm sorry,
Okay.
I overlooked this until this evening. Under where it says discussion about the salary of the building inspector, and it was decided to fall around municipal. It was also discussed to 1099, not full-time or part-time in there, so.
Did we motion to 1099 or it was motion to 1099? You have that, Ms. Gill? She can go back through the
Sure.
audio and see. All right, so I'll take a motion to postpone the special session minutes dated July 25th, 2022 until we
Make a motion that we postpone special session minutes for July 25th, 2022.
have a motion to postpone special session minutes dated July 25th, 2022.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, next item on the agenda is bill number 713. This, for the public hearing we had a few minutes ago, prior to this meeting. This is the ordinance to adopt the tax rate for 2022. I'll entertain a motion to read bill 713.
Make a motion that we read bill number 713.
At this time, clerk, I got a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? At this time, Clerk Charles will read bill number 713.
An ordinance fixing and levying property taxes for the city of Morehouse, New Madrid County, Missouri for the year 2022 for the benefit of the general fund of said city. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Aldermen of the city of Morehouse, New Madrid County, Missouri as follows. Section 1. There is hereby fixed and levied for the year 2022 a tax of 75 5/58 cents on each $100 assessed valuation of all taxable property subject to be taxed for the purpose of the general revenue fund of the city of Morehouse. Ordinance number 689 and all other ordinance or parts of ordinance in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval. First reading of the Board of Aldermen, the city of Morehouse, Missouri, this 8th day of August, 2022.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt bill number 713. 713.
Make a motion to adopt bill number 713.
Motion on the floor.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion for clerk to read bill number 713 to become ordinance number 712.
Make a motion.
No, it's short, okay.
I'll make a motion that clerk read bill number 713 to become ordinance 712.
Motion on the floor.
I'll second. Oh.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Bill number 713, ordinance number 712, an ordinance fixing and levying property taxes for the city of Morehouse, New Madrid County, Missouri for the year 2022 for the benefit of the general fund of said city. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Aldermen of the city of Morehouse, New Madrid County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, there is hereby fixed and levied for the year 2022 a tax of 75 58 on each $100 assessed valuation of taxable property, subject to be taxed for the purpose of the general revenue fund of the city of Morehouse. Second reading of the Board of Aldermen of the city of Morehouse, Missouri, this 8th day of August 2022.
You skip section 2.
Ordinance number 689, and all other ordinance or parts of ordinance in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval. Second reading of the Board of Aldermen of the city of Morehouse, Missouri, this 8th day of August 2022.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to pass ordinance number 712.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 712.
Have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item on the agenda is the abatement order for DNR. Just so the public's aware, the city's in abatement now with Department of Natural Resources, and in this abatement order, they have fined the city $1,600. Says the payment shall be made, $1,600 payment shall be made in the form of a check made payable to New Madrid County Treasurer as custodian of the New Madrid County School Fund. The check in the amount of $1,600 is due and payable upon execution of this abatement order on consent by the respondent. The check and signed copy of the AOC shall be delivered to following address. So does the board have any questions regarding this abatement? You know, this goes back to the city being in enforcement for ever since 2012. And the discharge limits, we're not meeting our discharge limit for a wastewater permit. And they have fined us, it's a one-time fine. Then it goes on to read that within 270 days of the effective date of this abatement order on consent, the respondent is ordered and agrees to submit to the department for review and approval an addendum to the previous facility plan or a new facility plan developed by a professional engineer licensed in the state of Missouri. The facility plan shall be adopted in accordance with 10 CSR 20-8.110 and evaluate the wastewater treatment for improvements that will enable the wastewater treatment facility to meet permitted effluent limitations. The facility plan shall include a comprehensive improvement schedule for the recommended improvements. Now, the facility plan, what they're talking about there is, you know, we were awarded the grant to pay for engineering. That will get us a completed facility plan. And that will, you know, we have 270 days prior to or after starting tomorrow. The 270-day clock starts. Well, Mike Montgomery has already he's buttoning down just a few more figures in the facility plan, and then he'll combine that with the camera footage and everything that they're doing right now. So we will be well within the 270 days for this abatement consent, getting a facility plan to the Department of Natural Resources.
Did they mention, Mayor, that this could have been worse, that we've been working with them?
Absolutely. In the last WebEx meeting that we had, myself, the engineer, and the 3 people from DNR stated that since the city has been making improvements, you know, we've got 8 new pumps, new control panels, we put a new aeration system in at the lagoon, we tried the liquid chemicals to get the ammonia as nitrogen down and our E. coli numbers, and I've been, every time there's an update, anything we move, anything we do, I call the enforcement division at DNR and update them. And I also call the local DNR field office in Poplar Bluff. So yes, this could have been, I mean, it talks about in here that they have the authority to fine up to $10,000 a day. That's in section 12 of this abatement.
Yeah.
And that's, I was gonna ask, and I'm like, could you recap, but you pretty much did, what we have done in the last, we spent how much on chemicals and $1,700, or 17,000 on an aerator, 17,000 on an
Right.
aerator. What we have done up to date during this last year and a half.
The monies that we've spent, the monies that the county has spent is somewhere around $380,000 just so far. Getting the pump truck and pumping the lift stations, getting the welder over here and welding locking tabs on the pits to the doors to the wet pit, getting all the trees cut down out of the levee at the lagoon. Everything that they pointed out when Ms. Stevens come over here originally, we've checked off that list. It's still, everything that we've done, we've still not been able to meet our discharge limit. And in July of 2025, that's when our new permit limits come into effect, and they're a lot more stringent than our current ones. So we can't meet our current discharge limits. We're darn sure not going to meet the 2025 discharge limit. With all that being said, those members that are in the public now or that watched the meeting from last month, the regular monthly meeting, we applied for a $5 million ARPA wastewater grant. So we will know in October of this year whether or not we got awarded that $5 million grant. And another thing that Ms. Mary from Missouri Rural Water said, and Mike from Warner Chiffin said, the engineering firm, that the ARPA wastewater grant was a points-based system. So your median household income, population loss, the amount of people in your town that's poverty level, age, disability, retirement, all goes into these calculations. And we got, by getting it as bad and as this sounds and as serious as it actually is, by being in enforcement and now in an abatement order, we got 5 bonus points. So try to put a little bit of rose-colored tint on this. It's still costing us $1,600, but that's 5 bonus points that towards $5 million. And like the department said, the money's not coming to them, it's staying in New Madrid County, it's going to New Madrid County schools, so it could have been a whole lot worse. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to pay the Department of Natural Resources, pay the abatement order of $1,600 payable to New Madrid County School District. And if whoever wants to make the motion, that language is in the top paragraph on page 4.
I'll make the motion that we pay the $1,600 due and payable to the Department of Natural Resources, and the check made payable to the New Madrid County Treasurer as custodian of the New Madrid County School Fund. And this is also going to be coming out of our water fund, right?
Correct. I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, item number 9 on the agenda. Luby equipment invoice. This was for seal kits for the backhoe. We had some emergency repairs we needed to do on the backhoe. We blew 2 seals out and we was over there putting in this new water tank. It's invoice number. It's order number PSO 062678, total of $319.20.
Now, this was also what Tim Brashears came over and helped put on.
Tim spent about 6 hours, not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday, taking those cylinders off, rebuilding them, getting it back up.
Donated that labor.
Donated the labor. He said you had to get Louis to come down here and do it, it'd be about $2,000 worth of labor. Plus your your parts. Any questions or concerns?
Make a motion, we pass and pay the Luby equipment invoice or the order number PS062678 in the amount of $319.20.
I have a motion on the floor to pay Luby equipment invoice, total $319.20.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, next item on the agenda is, and we talked about this just briefly before the board meeting. It's an invoice from General Code, and just so the public is aware, back in 2019, the Board of Aldermen voted to have all the city ordinances codified and put into digital format. This is the fourth installment of the original agreement, and it says here on the invoice, it's invoice number PG0000294449. It states here it's 20% upon submission of the draft. So the original agreement with the city that they had with General Code was for $8,000. So this invoice is for $1,600, which is 20% of $8,000. And this is the final installment. Now, we will have other ones as we pass ordinances. When we pass and adopt ordinances, they get sent to General Code, and it costs $15 per page to have them added to our digital codification. So does the board have any questions or concerns regarding this invoice? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept and approve and pass the general code invoice number PG0000294449 for the 20% final payment of $1,600.
Have a motion on the floor to pay invoice total to General Code for $1,600.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, next item on the agenda, another bill from General Code. Just so everyone knows, it's, as long as we have this service, it's a $695 annual site maintenance fee that General Code charges us. So essentially, it's $700 a year to have everything digital format and codified. And it's invoice GC00117524 for an amount of $695. Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we pay invoice GC00117524 in the amount of $695 for our general code maintenance.
Have a motion on the floor to pay the invoice to General Code for
I'll second.
$695.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? And just, I just noticed this on here, it says that that maintenance will end, so we're paying for up to 6/30 of 2023. Okay, next item on the agenda, dues for Boot Hill Regional Planning Commission in the amount of $568.05. That's the 2022 through 2023 dues. And as everybody up here on the board knows, and most of the general public, I'm sure, dues are yearly, it's $568.05. We just got awarded almost a $600,000 new community center grant, and Boot Hill's the one that wrote the grant, so.
You want to also maybe touch on what else they do for us, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, we've applied for a streets and drainage grant. We had a little snafu last year on no fault of the cities, but they had some problems over at Boot Hill. I think all that's been rectified, but streets and drainage grant, they're very helpful, just general questions, what grants are coming up. I do know in September we'll be applying for a FEMA grant for an inclement weather device or tornado siren. So Boot Hill's a good asset to have. Like I said, you get one grant, it's paid for itself.
They're planning partners. I was just looking at this letter that they submitted. They're planning partners with MoDOT, with SEMA, with FEMA, with DNR, with EDA, with DRA, DED, USDA, RD, Census, So they're affiliated with a lot of different companies that are different organizations that help us.
Right. So if there's no more questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to pay the Blue Hill Regional Planning Commission dues in the amount of $568.05.
Make a motion that we pay Blue Hill Regional Planning Commission dues of $568.05.
I have a motion to pay Blue Hill Regional Planning Commission dues, $568.05.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
James isn't here tonight. I was wanting him to discuss this. I mean, we get it every year. It's a invoice from the city of Sykeston. They do the dispatching when there's a 911 call. So it's $400. It's invoice number 4738, and that's for 911 services.
I'll make a motion that we pay invoice 4738 in the amount of $400 to the city of Sykeston for their 911 call, dispatching call.
Is that for a year?
Yes, ma'am. Have a motion on the floor?
I'll second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item on the agenda is an invoice from New Madrid County Highway Department. This is for 15.44 tons of cold mix asphalt at $95 a ton. Invoice total is $1,466.80. Questions or concerns?
How much do we have left of that?
Probably about half, because we had flats on the backhoe, we approved, we got all new tires on the backhoe, then we was over here doing the taps, we had 2 cylinders blowed on the backhoe. So Bobby's gonna be getting more put out.
I'll make a motion that we accept, approve, and pass the New Madrid County Highway Department invoice as stated July 13th, 2022 for the 15.44 tons of cold mix in the amount of $1,466.80.
Have a motion on the floor to
I'll
pay the
second.
New Madrid County Highway Department
I second
in a
that.
total of $1,466.80.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, invoice from City Attorney Matt Lawler in the amount of $1,305. Questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion to pay Matt Lawler the $1,305.
Have a motion on the floor to pay Attorney Matt Lawler $1,305.
Go ahead.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is invoice number 4316 to Win Mechanical for capacitor that went out at the air conditioner up at the City Hall. And the invoice is for $218. Service call and capacitor. Questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we pay the invoice 4316 to Win Mechanical Service Incorporated, $218.
Motion on the floor to pay invoice 4316, $218.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Next item on the agenda is invoice number 4284 to Win Mechanical Service for the community center. It's when he had to come up and wire around the board to get the air conditioner working here. It's for $140. Questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Do a motion for 140 for invoice 4284.
Have a motion on the floor to pay invoice 4284 in the amount of $140.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the public official bond renewal. And Alderman Dill pointed something out a moment ago prior to the meeting that the court clerk is still on here. Alderman Dill, would you mind?
Yeah, I just noticed that this morning when I was at the office actually, and I asked Dana Holmes at her office about that. She was checking into it to get it removed because we don't have a court clerk anymore. She was hoping to get an answer today. Evidently she didn't get an answer back today, so If there is any refund premium due back, it'll be refunded back to the city.
So-
If we go ahead and pass and approve this.
Would you recommend us go ahead and passing it as it is and then wait for a refund, or?
I would recommend go ahead and passing as is, and because it's due August the 10th. So,
2 days from now?
yeah, and it's a yearly bond, so I'd go ahead and I'd recommend passing it, and then if there's any refund due back, then insurance company will refund the money back to the city.
Is everybody else kind of in agreement with that, since it's due on the 10th?
I wouldn't think that it would be much of a
No.
refund if it,
It won't be.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion to pass invoice number 48236 in the amount of $339.
I make a motion that we pay invoice 48236 in the amount of $339 to self-insurance for our bond insurance.
Have a motion on the floor to pay invoice 48236 in the amount of $339.
I second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain since I worked there.
All right. Next item on the agenda is an invoice from Men's and Men's CPA. Invoice number 32245 in the amount of $700. And this invoice is from, it says for the months of January, February, and March, preparation of payroll journals and payroll accounting records for each period, preparation of all federal and state tax reports for the period ending, Form 941, state quarterly contribution and wage report, Form 940, federal unemployment tax return or deposit, and preparation of federal payroll tax deposit and or EFTPS tax deposit. Then for the months of April, May, and June of 2020, for the same items. And then on-site QuickBooks support for the amount of $100. Invoice total is $700. Any questions or concerns?
Do you know if Mr. Mans is going to bill us quarterly for this in the future of going out, or is it every 6 months?
Ms. Gale, do you know?
Because this is actually 6 months of service.
Right.
I think this is only the second one I've paid from them since I've been employed. But maybe it says you want it quarterly.
I would
I
like,
think we did, previously we did receive a quarterly bill because we paid for, it was a smaller amount, which is quarterly, so that's why I was like, well, this is large, but then I saw the time frame on it, and I'm like, so he switched over.
So essentially, like Alderman Dill said, it's for 6 months worth of service.
Right.
I mean, for budgetary purposes, I think it's better for every 3 months, but I mean, it's okay.
Well, we can make a note and ask him to do that in the future. Any other questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pay invoice number 32245 in the amount of $700 to Men's and Men's public accountants for their professional services.
Have a motion on the floor to pay invoice 32245 to Men's and Men's for total amount of $700.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, next item on the agenda is, they have, let's see the date. Where's the date? 23rd, August 23rd. They're having a Boot Hill Expo. It's a Missouri Rural Water Conference. And Liz Grove, you know, she's been down talking with Ms. Gale, and she's also doing a rate study for the city. And it's, want to know if y'all want to sign Ms. Gale up, send her over there. We can use, we get vouchers. We get green vouchers and we get blue vouchers from DNR. Green vouchers are for wastewater, blue vouchers are for water. And the voucher is the same as what we used to pay for when Ben went to school over, and Ben and myself went to school over at Saxon, the Missouri Rural Water Conference, or training for the license for the water plant. So it wouldn't be any cost out of pocket to the city other than Ms. Gale's time. No mileage, nothing like that, just her time off from work, going over there and getting some training through Missouri Rural Water,
It's a one-day event.
one-day event.
Now, she'll be still on the block though, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying, you're paying for her time to be over there, but no mileage, nothing like that. And it can be paid for with the blue voucher.
And how long would it be, I mean, as far as time-wise?
Well, it's from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on August 23rd. Over at Poplar
Or
Bluff.
if she skips breakfast and that's her drive time.
Right.
I mean, because it just says breakfast with, so really the event's from 8 to 4.
That would
But it's
be-
still an hour over there and an hour back of her
Yeah.
drive time, so, you're 7 to 5.
7 to 5.
Yeah.
Any other
That
questions?
sounds good to me.
Sounds good, I'll entertain a motion.
I'm gonna entertain a motion to approve Galen to go to this Big Deal Expo, Office Pros Expo.
Have a motion on the floor to send city clerk to the Missouri Rural Water Expo on August 23rd, 2022.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, old business, I'm gonna need still have not got the ordinance, or bill number 710, ordinance 709, surplus and abandoned property from the city attorney. So I'm gonna need a motion to postpone that again.
I make a motion that we postpone, bill for the, how many times can we vote? Is it postpone or is it revisit?
Postpone.
Okay. All right, so postpone, what was the bill number on that?
17.
Okay, I make a motion that we postpone Bill 710 for the next month's meeting.
Have a motion on the floor to postpone bill number 17.
I'll give it a second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay. Next item on the agenda is water bill late fees revisited. We discussed this a couple times. What the city's charging for are late fees. If people don't pay the water bill by the 10th of the month, we currently charge $5 for a late fee. And I provided last month a list of surrounding communities in our area. So just to recap, the city of Minor charges 10% of the outstanding bill. East Prairie, $5 late fee. Oran charges 10% of outstanding bill. Cape Girardeau, 10% of outstanding bill. Dexter, $10 flat fee. Matthews, $5 of outstanding, 5% of outstanding bill. City of Anniston, $15 flat fee. City of Charleston, $13 flat fee. City of Bloomfield, $5 flat fee. And PWSD3, whom we sell water to, charges a $10 flat fee. So has the board thought about this anymore, what you want to do, how you want to handle this, leave it as it is?
I would like to motion that we do a 10%.
Of the outstanding bill?
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion?
What's our reconnect fee right now?
Reconnect fee is $25.
I was thinking more in line of a 5% late fee increase, or 5% of the total late bill. Excuse me.
Well, if you go 5%, that's going to be less than the $5 we're charging now on the minimum bill.
I was about to say that's less than.
But listen to what I'm saying though. We can go, or we can maintain it to $5 for the late fee. But I'm thinking that our reconnect fees need to be moved up.
How many reconnects do we do a month?
That, I'm not 100% sure of. Patty's not here.
Well, I had looked up some online that were at other cities. There was one for like after hours, $70. There's one for $18.50 to reconnect and disconnect. You get charged if you're disconnected, and then you get charged if you're reconnected.
Any other thoughts?
My thing is, if we have to send a man down there and pay him to disconnect, and then send him back down there to reconnect, the city has to be reimbursed for that. And I'm thinking that if we disconnect, because it's not that you are late and they come down there and disconnect 2 days later.
You have to the 21st of the
Exactly.
following month.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, at that point, your reconnect fee should be $50, straight out. And then, if we have to go down there and lock out, pull a meter or lock them out, then, if the meter is a total reconnection fee, or you have to go in and play that, we have to check in on what that is. If we pull a meter, have to go back in and put a meter in.
Now, on the research that I did from Scott City and other towns, first lockout was 75, second was 150, the third time it's a $250.
And maybe you can speak to
That's
Explain.
high.
Yeah,
maybe explain how the lockout, how that works. We shut it off, so let's
What our
recap the whole.
procedure, what our procedure is, the bill's due by the 10th of the month. If you don't pay your water bill, you get charged $5 late fee. If you still, you went through this billing cycle, then it's read again and mailed out. Your residents of this town are not shut off until the 21st day of the following month.
You went through 2 billing cycles.
Okay.
And then, but here's the thing, Patty has most people's phone numbers, has contact with them, and she tries to work out a payment arrangement. Somebody may have been in the hospital, somebody may have lost their job, so she tries to work with everybody. But by the 21st of the following month, if A, you're not willing to work out a payment arrangement with the collector, or B, you just flat out aren't gonna pay it, then we go down, she makes out a work order, she sends Bobby down, Bobby turns the water off and locks it out. Typically, when that happens, that day, they're at City Hall
Well,
At the end of the day.
paying their bill.
I think the big issue or the big problem is the lockout. I don't think it's really the late fee, the $5 late fee. I don't think that's a big deal. I think, I'm with Alderman Dial. I think that we should make that reconnect or the disconnect fee a lot higher.
My reasoning in that is, it's not just the monetary thing of it, but the city employee has to stop doing whatever he's doing, go down there and lock it up, then go back, start work again, and then like you said, if they call him again the same day, and he's right back down there, he has to stop what he's doing again, go down there.
yeah, and you're talking about hourly wage
And
too.
I just feel that, a $25 re-hookup, or unlocking, or whatever how you want to describe it,
And I thought,
it's
I was
just.
told it was $20.
It
That's
is
why.
20, it
yeah.
is 20. It's
Because that's
20.
why I was thinking, well, what we pay, and that was I've already stated how so I'm not gonna rehash it, but my thing was, we could raise the reconnect fee, or because we're paying, what we pay him an hour is almost what we're, paying for a reconnect fee. And so his time and energy, we're going in the hole,
And you're-
sending
and you're
our
doing it
city
twice.
employee down there to do it,
And that's
so.
right. And not only that, it really, if you put the numbers to it, 50's not enough to cover.
But in the same breath of our discussion that we went through before, it's not only a coverage thing, it's a deterrent. And $20 may not deter somebody from not paying their bills, but they get hit with a $50 reconnect fee, and that's gonna deter them from. And we're not talking about someone who is a week late with their bill. This is someone who's went 2 months without paying their bill,
Right.
Or 3 or 4.
and they have the ability to come to City Hall, talk to the collector.
And make arrangements.
And make arrangements.
And we have paperwork at City Hall through that SAFHR, that if you meet the criteria, they pay your utility.
They will help you pay your utility. Yes,
Now,
sir.
sometimes they're a little slow in paying, but they're a government program, so
Yeah.
they take their own sweet time.
So then, if we make any changes on this tonight and motion it in, we have to put it to.
It has to be in an ordinance format, yes. Even the late fee, since we have an ordinance stating that the late fee is $5, you'll have to revise that ordinance. Or write an ordinance and have the language in there that
Basically,
it
what we're doing tonight is
amends
setting up
previous ordinance
provisions
number.
for previous ordinances.
Well, I want y'all to think about it before we get it written up in ordinance format. So,
Yeah, because we just pay however much the city attorney, so
Right.
we want it
Yeah.
exactly spelled out the way, so we don't have to revise it.
I'm hearing from Alderman Majors, 10% of the water bill as a late fee. I'm hearing from Alderman Dow, keep it at $5.
If you keep it at 5, it's gonna be less than $5 a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, here's what
If
we're,
we keep it at
here's what I'm
5%, but
saying.
if you keep it
Okay.
at $5,
A 10
then we're going here.
A 10%, I said 10% because not everybody has a $100 bill, okay? And that would be 10, okay? If you have a bill, like my bill is like $60, okay? It's $6, it's $1 more. $1.
Not everybody has not everybody gets a discount of some sort.
Well, she
And
doesn't
I know
necessarily
that
get a
is-
discount. Her trash is
Right.
included with the housing.
But what I'm saying is, it is, that bill is discounted. The whole bill, your water, your trash, and your sewer are all one. So that bill is discounted from everyone else's, is what I'm saying. So, not
The only
everybody gets
difference-
that.
No.
Not everybody gets a discount on their
She's
bill.
not getting
I'm
a
not
discount on
getting
her
a
water
She doesn't
or
have to
sewer.
pay the trash.
She doesn't pay
I
trash.
just don't
Trash
pay
is included
trash.
at the housing authority. Our trash is $13.85 for residents.
Is
out
it not,
of
we
town.
don't bill all together, water, sewer, and trash? That's how
But
my bill comes.
That's how all of our
Okay.
bills come, but at the housing authority, they get billed the same water rate and the same sewer rate as everyone else in town, minus they don't pay trash
Sure.
because the housing authority has a dump
So
truck.
I
But
pay
what
the
I'm
same
saying
for water.
is, the bill as a whole is less because trash is not figured in
It's
there.
less, but it's not discounted. We
Right.
just don't pay trash to the city because we.
They take care of it,
So
right?
it's not really a discount, is all everybody's saying. I think.
Yeah, because, I pay for the same amount of water, the same amount, dollar sign wise, as you do, or as Jonathan
What
does,
she's
or
saying
as
is your
Mike
late, your
does.
late fee would be less than another person that uses the same amount of water because ours is figured with trash, not yours, so the late fee would
Exactly.
be more. Which I have one of the highest water bills in town, and I'm okay with 10%, but that's me, and we have two incomes.
And
My
here's-
bill's $120.
Yeah, and here's the thing, yes, we are a city and we gotta think of the people in the city, and I understand that. But in the same sense, we gotta also think about the city, and that water is our resource.
Okay, so we're getting 10%, keep it at $5, but raise the disconnect fee. What do y'all want to do? And ultimately, so we can get an ordinance drawn up,
I want the 10%, honestly.
okay?
What's
And
the difference in seven?
what's the difference in 7?
7%.
7.5?
7.5.
I want to keep the late fee at $5, but I'm okay with raising the reconnect, the reconnect fee. But my vote for myself, I say leave it at the $5 late fee.
And I am still motioning that we do the 7.5.
Now, hang on, now you changing your motion?
I will do the 7.5.
All right, so I have a motion on the floor for 7.5% late fee.
You're gonna do different motions for the.
Yes.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
No, no.
Okay. 3 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Okay, now on the reconnect, what are y'all, I have a $50 amount I heard a while ago. Is there any other thoughts on reconnected.
Now, I have done a lot of research on this because I wanted to be fully aware of all the situations. And I even know what, up in Cape, I believe it was Cape, don't quote me on that, but anyway, I seen where they took the bill off of the deposit and they had to repay their deposit. Whatever was the amount that they cut was off of the deposit, they had to make up the difference of that deposit.
Okay, now, people, it was in 2020, the meter deposits got raised. Prior to that, now our meter deposits for a resident is $100, a renter is $150. So, the meter deposits that you have, anybody that's been here or paid their deposit prior to 2020 was, I think it was like $35. 25? I mean, the meter deposit was real low. So if you're taking off meter deposit for a reconnect, you're gonna have those people, let's say they paid their deposit in 2015, and you're taking off just $25 or $35, and then you're making them make up the difference on their water bill, and then you're coming back and telling them, well, now you gotta pay $150
I'm just saying that's what.
water
I've
meter
seen,
deposit.
so.
That's gonna be a little too much.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like
but-
you just need flat rate of $50.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we charge a flat rate of $50 for reconnect fees to water once disconnected.
I have a motion on the floor for $50 reconnect fee.
I will give in a second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
3 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda, it's gonna be the VFIS. Ms. Gale gave this to me this afternoon. This is volunteer firefighting insurance coverage, and it's invoice number 880-59126 in the amount of $634 for insurance for the fire department, volunteer fire department.
Accidental insurance, I believe.
Ms. Gale said that she called Tish, right? Can you explain that?
I think it's accidental insurance, is what she said. I was supposed to have gotten this via mail, which I did not, and she sent me an email this morning that the company had sent her that this was due. And I told her that luckily we had a board meeting tonight, and we would vote on it tonight and check and get that tomorrow,
If approved.
if approved. Because it was actually due the 26th of July. And this is the first time I've seen it.
But you're not sure what it covers?
It's accidental insurance.
Accidental death, accidental just in general.
It just said accidental.
I don't know, VFIS, we sell that insurance out of our office too. It can be auto, it can be general liability, it can be a lot of things. So this invoice or this past due letter doesn't tell what it is.
Well, it says the payment is not received by 8/15/2022. The insurance company will send direct notice of cancellation for non-payment of premium.
I mean, it's obviously insurance that we've had all year,
Right.
it just hasn't been paid. So when we approved the package early in the year, I'm sure that we looked at all this and it's just an invoice that we haven't paid.
Yeah.
Well, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pay, I don't even see invoice number, oh, right here, C17554 to VFIS in the,
That's the customer number.
oh,
Invoice is down in the bottom in the middle.
I see it, sorry, let me start over. Okay, I
motion on the floor to pay invoice 88059-126 in the amount of $634 to VFIS.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, next item on the agenda. I have a couple resignations. I'll read this resignation letter, and it goes as follows. Dated August 8, 2022. This note is to advise that I am submitting my resignation, that I no longer want to be a part of Morehouse Housing Authority Board or Directors. James Brewer. I'll entertain a motion to accept Mr. Brewer's resignation from the Housing Authority Board.
I'll make a motion that we accept Mr. James Brewer resignation from the Housing Authority Board.
Have a motion on the floor to accept Mr. Brewer's resignation.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Next, I have another resignation letter. I, Connie Hensley, as of 8/8/2022, resign the Board of Housing Authority, Morehouse, Missouri. Signed, Connie Hensley. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation from Connie Hensley from the Housing Authority Board.
Motion to accept Ms. Hensley's resignation.
Second it.
All in favor? Okay. Next item on the agenda is appointments for the Housing Authority Board. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Anthony Moore to as chairman for a 4-year term.
Make a motion that we appoint Mr. Anthony Moore as chairman for a 4-year term for the Morehouse Housing Authority.
Have a motion on the floor for Mr. Anthony Moore to be chairman of a 4-year term, Morehouse Housing Authority.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second for Mr. Moore. All in favor?
Abstain.
Okay. 2 ayes, 2 abstentions, motion carries. Mr. Moore, would you like to come up and swear your oath of office? No. They're different years. Clerk will read you. You'll need to raise your right hand.
Repeat after me. Oath of office of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri. I, Anthony Moore,
I, Anthony Moore,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Commissioner
of the office of Commissioner
of the Housing Authority
Housing Authority
of the City of Morehouse,
of
Missouri,
the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
and will to the best of my ability
and to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
And I solemnly swear
And I solemnly swear
that I have not directly nor indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, or promised to pay,
offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute any money
contributed, or promised to contribute any money
or valuable thing,
or valuable thing,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
of employment
of employment
as reward
as reward
to secure appointment,
to secure appointment,
so help me God.
so help me God. Right here.
And you come by the office sometime tomorrow, and I'll give you this copy, and I have to notarize it,
Okay,
okay?
All right, Mr. Moore, thank you.
thank you.
Next, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Jonathan Hayes to be co-chairman of the Housing Authority for a 4-year term.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jonathan Hayes as co-chairman for a 4-year term for the Morehouse Housing Authority.
Have a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Have 2 abstentions, 2 ayes, motion carries. Mr. Jonathan?
Repeat after me. Oath of office of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri. I, Jonathan Hayes, do solemnly swear
I, Jonathan Hayes, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of Commissioner of the Housing Authority,
of Commissioner of the Housing Authority,
and that should be co-chairman,
co-chairman of the Housing Authority
of the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
of the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution
protect, and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
and I solemnly swear
And I solemnly swear
that I have not directly nor indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered,
offered,
or promised to pay,
or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money
any money
or valuable thing,
or valuable thing,
or promised any public office of employment
or promised any public office of employment
as reward to secure appointment,
as reward to secure appointment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And you're signing this for a 4-year term.
And you made that right.
Commissioner?
Yeah, he's just Commissioner, same with Anthony,
Okay.
you named, Mr. Moore was chairman, Mr. Hayes is co-chair. Up next, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Ms. Mildred or Sissy Spurling to the Housing Authority for a 3-year term.
I'll make a motion. And we appoint Mildred Sissy Spurlin to the Morehouse Housing Authority for a 3-year term.
Have a motion on the floor.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Have 2 ayes, 2 abstentions, motion carries. Ms. Sissy, will you come up?
Repeat after me, please. Oath of office of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri. I, Mildred Sissy Spurlin,
I, Mildred Sissy Sparkman,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Commissioner
the duties of office of Commissioner
of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse,
of the Housing Authority of
Missouri,
Missouri,
and will to the best of my ability
and to will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and I solemnly swear that I have not directly nor indirectly paid,
and I solemnly swear that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, or promised to pay,
offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money
any money
or valuable thing,
or valuable thing,
or promised any public office of employment
or promised any public office of employment
as reward to secure appointment,
as reward to secure appointment.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Your term's 3 years. You sign there.
Motion to approve 3-year or 2-year.
Yeah, if you just come by City Hall tomorrow after she notarizes it, you'll get the original, she'll make a copy. Same to you, Mr. Johnson.
I'll be available at any time. I'll have to figure it out.
Okay, when-
I'm in school till 5 o'clock every day. I'll figure it out.
I mean, we can mail it to you, or if you get a chance,
Yeah. There may be a day I get out early, but most of the time we're there till 5, so I'm not here till almost 6 o'clock.
understood. Okay, and just so the members of the audience know, and folks that are gonna watch the recording at home, Ms. Majors is abstaining due to the fact that she resides at the Housing Authority, and Ms. Hotchkiss, you are abstaining.
I applied for that position for the administrator job at the Housing Authority a couple years ago, and so
just want to make everyone aware so you knew why the extensions were being made. So, next item, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Ms. Brianna Madigan for a 2-year term on the Housing Authority Board.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Ms. Brianna Madigan on the commission of the Morehouse Housing Board for 2-year term.
Have a motion on the floor,
I'll second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, abstain. I was too busy writing down who said it.
That's all right. Two ayes, 2 abstentions, motion carries. Ms. Brown? Come up, raise your right hand. Repeat after the clerk.
I, Brianna Madigan,
I, Brianna Madigan,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Commissioner
the duties of the officer of Commissioners
of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
and will do the best of my ability
and will do the best of my ability
to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state,
And I solemnly swear
and I solemnly swear
that I have not directly nor indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, or promised to pay,
offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute,
contributed or promised to contribute
any money
any money
or valuable thing,
or valuable thing
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
of employment
of employment
as reward to secure appointment.
as reward to secure employment.
So help me God.
All right, next appointment, I'll entertain a motion for Ms. Gloria Shell to serve on the Housing Authority as a commissioner for a 1-year term.
Make a motion to appoint Ms. Gloria Shell to the commission of the Housing Authority for a 1-year term.
Have a motion on the floor,
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Same.
Have 2 ayes, 2 abstentions, or 2 abstain. Motion carries. Ms. Gloria?
I, Gloria Shell, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Commissioner
the duties of office of Commissioner
of the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse,
of
Missouri,
the Housing Authority of the City of Morehouse, Missouri,
and will to the best of my ability
and to the best of my abilities
preserve, protect
protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United
and laws
States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
And I solemnly swear that I have not
I solemnly swear that I have not
directly nor indirectly paid,
directly or indirectly paid,
offered, or promised to pay,
offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money
any money
or valuable thing,
or valuables
or promised any public office of employment
or any public office of employment
as reward to secure appointment.
as reward to secure appointment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
There for a 1-year term. Thank you.
Okay, we didn't have any sign-ups, city employees, no city employees. I'll go to the board. Alderman Hotchkiss?
I have 2 I'd like updates on where we're at, and then signs. So the first thing, where are we at on the audit from the,
Okay, so, the board voted to hire Mr. Ted Epting to audit fiscal year 2019, 2020 and 2021. Mr. Epstein's been coming over, he copied the entire QuickBook, and he's been requesting some other information. Ms. Gill, do you have any more on his progress?
Yeah, he pointed out to me that the QuickBooks program, number one, is not the right program, the nonprofit's not the right program to be using. Number two, according to him, in the audit in the state of Missouri, we are only to have 4 funds, which is general, roads, water, sewer, and capital improvements. All the rest, everything else that we've got is gonna have to be put into the general fund, like the police department, the fire department, the park board.
Now, we can have the separate accounts, the bank
We can have
accounts,
all the
but how
accounts.
it's set up in QuickBooks, and then it's broke
Right,
out.
and for his purposes and for the state auditor's purposes.
Did he give any, I know he said by the end of the year.
He
was hoping-
told me he hoped to have it done by December when
By
he is working on it. He did have to help me with a state auditor's financial statement that I was not aware of that needed to be done by June 30th. And there's a $500 fine per day. And hopefully we won't get fined because it didn't get done until the 15th of August because I was unaware.
Financial auditor report.
It's a financial, you have to send it in every year. It's a financial report to the state auditor every year.
It's due June 30th every year.
There was also an addendum that had to do with the municipal court, which I explained to him, we did not have one, and he said making a difference. There again, you can be fined, the hefty fine is they won't take any answer other than why you did not file it. And they'll just take the money out of the taxes and send you a letter and say they took it. So,
Is that due annually, or is
that
that?
was due in June 30th also. I
Yeah,
did-
because your state budgets.
Cycle ends, yeah.
Cycle ends June
Yeah.
30th.
And there again, I wasn't aware of that either. So I sent that in today, and I put an explanation on it as to what happened with the court system, because we had no fines or,
Yeah, the city's not
There was
had
no
court
Right,
since
we don't have
2020.
one, right.
there was no activity. So I'll see what she says about that. He did say, he's gonna try and do all 3 years at the same time. I guess it's probably easier for him, he's got the information there in front of him. And I said, well, we need to concentrate on the one for the single phase audit. And he said, well, I'll do them all 3 at the same time. So I do know he's working on it, he seems pretty intelligent. He told me that whatever guidelines he comes up with, that we will have to follow. And I said, you tell me what we need to do and it will be done that way, I promise.
So expected December, by the end of the
By the
year,
end of
we
the
will
year.
have audited
3 years,
19,
hopefully.
20, and 21.
And the program-specific audit on the water project.
Right.
All right,
So he said that depends on how much information he has to get from the people that did the water plant. I don't know how much information he gave. We haven't got any far. I've got 19 pulled and I've got 20, and I've got all the records pulled that I have. So we'll have to see what he says, whether it's enough or he has to go through the contractors and get copies of invoices.
Hey, I'm just ecstatic that it's in the works, just wanted
Well,
an
the last
update
audit the
on.
city had was 2009. I mean, you
So,
gotta get
just-
real here. We
hey.
gotta do audits.
I want to like,
What else is there?
our civil suit, how's that, is it progressing?
You have to speak with Matt on that.
Okay, and then the last thing that I have is, signs. We've got several, well, 2 things. One, like to entertain the idea of ordering a new sign with the correct population on there, reflective of what our true population is now. So that needs to be updated. And then there's several.
Whenever they certify the census, that MoDOT just does that.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll just automatically come out one day and you'll see a new sign.
Okay, so that's something they take care of. The
Correct.
stop signs in town, there are several that are just completely faded out where you
I'll
can't see.
entertain them, but what do you think, 10? We bought 10 last year.
Yeah.
And we used them all, so
Yeah,
entertain a motion for 10 stop signs.
How much
Be
are
paid out of, I think we paid around 35 bucks.
10 or
Last year.
15.
15?
Okay. I make a motion.
Well, set a budget, what y'all want budget. So if they're,
Yeah.
let's just say that they're 50 bucks, because everything's gone up since we bought last year.
What's 35 times 15? If they're, what's,
35 times 15 is 525.
okay,
50,
so,
50 times 15 is 750. So,
Said budget,
set budget,
750.
750.
750?
750.
Okay. I make a motion that we order new stop signs with a no more than $750 to be spent on the signs.
Got a motion on the floor,
Second.
order stop signs with a budget of $750.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay. Alderman Dow. Alderman Deal.
Just have one thing. Have we had any response or applications for the building inspector?
None to my knowledge.
Can we re-advertise on Indeed, the website Indeed? Is
It's
that-
on there.
Oh,
It
is
stays on there till I take it down.
Oh, it's still on there, okay.
Now, I know 2 residents here in town have went out and got independent building inspections already.
Have it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just keep it on the Indeed, so, yeah, just keep it on there, it's just free, so.
Anything else? Alderman Majors? Okay, I'll turn it over to the floor. You, sir. Ma'am?
Yes. The
Okay.
park board,
Can you speak up,
the
please?
park board and myself were wanting to see if the mayor and the alderman would get in one of our games, pie in the face. We're trying, but how we're gonna run it is.
Well, I make a motion right away
Yeah,
that
do it.
Mayor Bashir.
I was gonna say Alderman Hodgkins.
Can I get a second?
We want all of you to agree to it. Whoever gets the most tickets or dollars, we haven't figured that out yet, number in their container is the one that gets pie in the face, but you all gotta agree to it.
Hey, I'm not above it.
Just one pie?
Just one
Just
time.
one
Just one
time.
pie.
And then if I can get all y'all to do it.
What?
Well, now, we can do another one a different way, but this is the one we're asking permission for.
Count me in as long as, I ain't getting nothing in my,
You in all
I
that?
don't know.
come on, Gabby, come on.
This is to raise money for the park
Oh,
board.
yeah,
It's for the
yeah.
town, come
I
on,
can
do
sell a
it.
lot of hot dogs. I'm
If I can do it, you can do it, come on.
We're good.
I figured
Yeah.
that was gonna get hit.
Yeah, I've been gonna get hit, y'all are safe here, so.
Okay, so we got a yay from everybody?
Well, Alderman Hodgkins, she's a little apprehensive there.
Come on, Gabby, it'll be fine. It's for your town, come on.
If I can get all y'all to do it, I said I'd throw my name in the hat.
And Bree will go in too. Did you hear that, Gabby?
What was it?
If you all throw your name in the hat, she'll go in too.
Oh, okay. Is that the right? You're gonna put
It's
your.
just Cool Whip, I promise you.
It's just cool,
It's
it
just
washes
Cool
right
Whip.
off. Oh, come on, it's all clean fun.
For sure, for sure.
Anything else?
Dates? I know we discussed, or you discussed October 15th. Is that the
That's
official
the
date
official
that's been
date.
set? Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes,
you got something?
I'm with her.
Okay. Sir?
Nope.
Ms. John? Ms. Wolf? Ms. Leanne? Ms. Deal?
I just wanna know if
Ma'am.
that is a yes or a no, Gabby.
I think Linda said she'd take my place. I heard her say
I'm not
that.
Oh, come on, Gabby. Just say yes, you know you
Oh,
want
just
to.
say yes. I'm on camera here. The spot's on.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, if I can do it, and Joe can do it, and everybody can do it.
I'm not signing up for it.
I'll do it too if you do.
I don't know. Let
I'll do
me
it
think
too
about
if you do.
it. Could be pretty
Ms.
brutal.
Gloria? Ma'am? Ma'am? You have anything, Liz? No? Mr. Jonathan?
I do have one about the post office.
Okay.
And, like, the post office has been closed for 3 days.
No,
Is there anything that we can do as a city with the postal service to change if we do local delivery, to have it a 63868? Because I have the same address as a house in Sykes, so I cannot do local delivery.
That's commonplace with the Sykeston route. If you got a mailbox outside with the Sykeston route, oftentimes there's a street address in Sykeston.
That matches yours.
And they tell me to
Yours.
put a parentheses, but it never works. It's never gonna happen, and websites won't take that
Right.
at all.
Right.
And I can feel your pain because I'm fortunate in the sense that I own, where my house is, but then sometimes I have mail sent to
We followed
my
it.
grandmother's address
And we went
because
online.
I have an empty lot, but I have no mail that could go there.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do I have it delivered because of
The
that?
packages that were there, don't
Yeah.
nobody there for 3 days.
I've actually thought about
Lady
just
came
getting a
from
mailbox
Sykeston
in Sykeston.
in the evening and brought it to us.
So I can get it delivered and I know just getting a post office box, but it's like, there's an expense that's associated
Yeah.
with that.
Can I
It's like,
say something?
Yes,
We had a gentleman come in City Hall last week, I think that's just moved here, and he complained about it too. And he went and filed a complaint, I think with Sykeston, that ended up in Jefferson City. And supposedly Sykeston is getting in trouble for this because it should never have been done that way to begin with. They told Sykeston not to do it. They should have our own street address and our own zip code.
Blodgett's the same way. So
Right.
Blodgett, any street that Blodgett, Sykeston, and Morehouse has, they all go to Sykeston. Nothing
well, it's
comes
been
here.
that way. Salcedo, Tanner, all of it for as far back as I can remember, it's a rural route carrier that delivers the mail.
Same
So
as the
you-
column?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes it a Sykeston
Yeah, Collins
address.
has always been around
Yeah.
four sides.
Can I finish? When the mail got mixed up a couple of months ago, where she sent them to St. Louis. Instead of turning around and slot them in the box the way she was supposed to, she sent them all to St. Louis. Nobody got their bill for a month,
the water bill.
the water bills. At that time, Patty, the city collector, contacted this lady's name, the supervisor's Rosemary's name. And I don't know whether she's in Jefferson City, Sykeston, I don't know where she is. But they came to an agreement that anytime, every month, when she takes the water bills to the post office, that girl up there slots the Morehouse, the P.O. boxes right then. She hand delivers the Sykeston routes to the carrier at the post office. They're not supposed to leave the Morehouse post office. The carrier comes there to get them. There's no reason to go to Sykeston and her bring them back. So, that's all I can tell you right now. Supposedly, the guy I spoke to last week said that there was gonna be a complaint filed against Sykeston for doing it, and that they were supposedly gonna stop it.
Well, hopefully the man,
Now, Gabby, I will say, if you get a P.O. box, that's what we have in Sykeston, we don't even have a mailbox.
Right.
That if you apply for anything, and you want something sent, you'll get it all, like, you just say you apply for a credit card or something. They want that physical address, you will not get it. So that's an issue. you
With
have
that
to deal with.
said, up until here recently, if I ordered something online and put my street address on it, it's not, it doesn't even show that my
Oh,
street
yeah. Right, I'm the same way.
address is.
Doesn't exist. Now, we did talk to her today about the girl being gone down here for 3 days last week and being closed, and asked why they did not send somebody else over. Because my understanding has always been the mail goes on regardless. And her comment was that they didn't have enough workers, nobody wants to work anymore. That's why it was shut down for 3 days. She came into work at 9:30 this morning, did not have the mail put up by 10 o'clock, and was gone at 11:30 and locked it up.
They also will not send certified letters. They won't do any of the post office things. All they do is put the mail in the slots, is what they told my
They're not even
worker.
doing that.
well, where this all went off the rails was the former postmaster. He didn't want to take the time and put letters in the boxes, and he told everybody, well, you can just go on out there and get you a mailbox in front of your house. So now everybody run out there and got mailboxes in front of their house. The postal system looks at how many box spaces rented up there at that post office.
Right.
And it's declining, 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 declining. All because everybody's got a mailbox out front. They don't have to pay whatever it is a year for box rent. And
Well, I did.
we're gonna end up losing that post office.
I said, I did it because I could never get in, I was working at the time. I could never get in the post office.
Well, Danny used to, the former postmaster that I'm speaking of, he would lock the lobby. No, I'm not talking about the postmaster, where you buy stamps and whatnot. He locked the lobby at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't get there between 9 to 5 or 8 to 5,
And
you
they
didn't get your
closed
mail
at
until
lunch,
Saturday.
everybody else would be off. You couldn't
Now,
get
now the
there.
lobby's open 24 hours a day, but we don't have a worker showing up to even put mail in our slots. Okay, sir, you have anything? All right, I guess that's all. We have a closed personnel meeting afterwards, so if the board has nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion on the floor to adjourn? Motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, nobody abstains from adjournment.